Hello, everyone. Ever wondered what is the answer to 0 divided by 0? Me too. If you think about it, all equations in the format x divided by x will give the result of 1. How cool is that? This means that if you do 0 divided by 0, well, that's also 1. However, let's think about circles. I love circles. The circumference of a circle is pi times the diameter, where pi is not the tasty food, but the math number. From this, we can calculate that pi is equal to the circumference divided by the diameter. But this is where it gets tricky. If you have a circle with a diameter of 0, this must mean that its circumference is necessarily 0, which means that 0 divided by 0 is equal to pi. Let's look at from another side. If you have 0 divided by x for any x other than 0, this will always give 0. If you instead try to go from x divided by 0, well, this is going to be undefined, since anything divided by 0 is going to reach positive and negative infinity. How wild is that? If we think about what division really means, it's how many of something fits in something else. If you ask me how many nothings fits in nothing, well, I can put 812 nothings inside of it, since 812 times 0 minus 0 is still 0. This means that 0 divided by 0 can be anything. And with this logic, I define 0 divided by 0 as being equal to an eagle.